Final question here. Senate President, we'll start with you. Is the budget the alpha and omega of this session? What else should we be watching for coming out of the legislature?
Okay, so I'm going to respond in three quick ways if I can.
Please.
Well, I won't be able to respond quickly because I'm apparently unable to do so, but I will respond in 3 ways. The first thing I'll point out is that last year I had the privilege of being here, and one of my counterparts from the other party last year said that we had cut $3 billion worth of spending in education for over the last 5-6 years. And so this year it's been inflated to $4 billion. And that's, I believe, dangerous and erroneous rhetoric, because it continues with the narrative that we do not prioritize education in the state. And if you want that to be your brand, then you keep saying those comments. Because Arizona's education is a good education. Is it perfect? No. Do we have a ways to go? Sure we do. And so when we start talking about how this comes into the budget, whether the budget is the be-all and end-all, it is the first and most legitimate function of our state government. That's what we do. That's what we're supposed to do. And with our budget, we have said consistently, education is our most important priority. And so we fund it in a level that we are capable of funding it. Do we need to make adjustments? Perhaps. But if you want to consistently say to business, hey, you know what, we have a crappy education system, then you're not helping the state, you're not helping our education system, and you are hindering our economy, because we do have a good education system. And many can come in here and get here. Now, what are the other areas that we're going to be talking about as far as in the legislature? You're going to have the turf battles. You always have turf battles. I'll just tell you what they are. You're going to have microbreweries versus the 3-tier system. You're going to have the internet model of distribution of vehicles versus the traditional automobile dealers. You're going to have several other areas, rideshare versus traditional taxis. This will be part and parcel of what you see down there. And then the third thing you're going to see is consistently an effort to make the economic environment good for industry and business in the state. Those 3 areas, and education will be actually underpinning 2 of those areas. Those will go forward. And just one last comment about, since I believe this will appear at the legislature, I think it's at least tangentially relevant to what you asked, and that is this. There isn't anybody at the legislature that doesn't believe in the highest standards and the highest educational outcomes for their children. Everybody wants it. It's across parties. That's truly something that we all ought to be embracing and hugging each other on across the aisles, because we all want that. But the Arizona voters have said something different than Common Core, and whatever we're euphemistically calling them these days. But what we need to get to is we need to get to find those academic standards that we all want, that are so vital to our children, and go forward with that. So those are really some four areas you're going to see.
What are we going to see, Senator?
That was a good answer. I don't disagree. I think those are the big issues.
Okay. All right.
Short answer to make up for your long one.
My goodness. That was easy. Speaker?
Yeah, no, I'm kidding. Obviously, President Biggs brought up some good points. The budget is the major thing here. We obviously know that. It's the 800-pound gorilla, as we say, right? And that's the basic factor where we're going after. And one of the major pillars that the majority leader has been putting forth, Representative Montenegro, is the deregulation piece that I've been bringing up here so prevalently. And that's a major piece within the structure I think you're going to see a lot of, where we're going to go and attack so that we can help these businesses grow. But the normal things with the education side, and then just you're going to see the normal fights within. However, what we have to remember is, we're 30 districts in this state, and we all have different walks of life out here. we bring the issues of the state together. We're all Arizonans, there's no doubt. But each part of the state has a different view of what they want to do and put forth, and they think needs to better the state itself. So you're going to see a lot of different issues come to play. You're just starting to see them drop. What do we have, 2,000 bills a year or so? So they're just starting to drop. I know they're trickling in. I heard there's only about 6 on the Senate side right now, but 30 today. So they jumped up, and I know we were at about 30. I can imagine today we're probably at 100 or something. But the House tends to put in the most. And, you know, we're going to see a lot of different issues come down. The great thing here is that every legislative session is the same, but it's also different. And it's different in the manner of what comes down in policy. So I suspect we're going to see a lot of different factors come down underneath the budget. But the budget's going to be the major piece that we're going to see go forward here.
Representative?
Thank you.
Give you a ditto?
No, I'm not giving you a ditto. I'm glad to hear we'll be hugging. To respond, just briefly, to the education issue, the facts are the facts. And, you know, I served on a school board. I'm committed to having every kid in our state be successful, and I believe it's the basis for the foundation of our democracy, and there is room for improvement. I don't remember saying that our education system was crap, so I don't know where you got that terminology, but if we don't develop a long-term plan to ensure that our kids are successful, the statistics show that the test scores show that our kids are not meeting the standards that they need to meet to be successful in college and the workforce in our state. And we need to change course, and I hope, working with the governor, that we'll be able to get there. I hope we can do it in a bipartisan fashion, because I do like working with you. We just disagree sometimes. So I mean, we've covered the microbrewery issue, all these other issues that we'll see down at the Capitol, and there'll be the unexpected bills that come as surprises that will be challenging for us to deal with.
So that was a ditto. Give me some notes.
Yeah, kind of a ditto.
All right. Not necessarily a hug, but it was pretty close over there.
Yeah.
All right. Glenn Hammer?
Ted, I want to thank you again for moderating this panel. I want to thank our Senate President, our Speaker, our minority leaders for being here. And I want to thank Governor Ducey for starting off our program. We'll see you at the Capitol. Safe travels. Thank you.
Ted?
All right.